What's up, guys? This is Andy here. This is BC Tech, and today I'm going to give you some of the benchmarks on the Redline R7 370s by XFX, which I have in Crossfire. Now, something most people don't know, and I didn't even know upon getting them, these are actually not an R7 370. Basically, what XFX did was take an R9 270X and rebrand it as a Redline 370. And the reason for doing this was these are exclusive GPUs that are only sold at Best Buy. And the reason for rebranding it is there's three cards in the series. The first card is a R7 360, which is a $120 card, which is actually a decently powerful card for the price point. I do recommend it. The next step up is the R7 370, and the next card after that is a R9 390. Not the 390X, just the standard 390. And I guess what XFX and Best Buy, what they were trying to do, at least what I got from talking to the help desk and some other people and doing a lot of research online, is they wanted a card, an R7 370, that was more in the middle of the 360 and the 390. There's not a huge gap between a 360 and a standard 370, but there is a huge gap between a standard 370 and a 390. So XFX and Best Buy's answer to that was to take an R9 290X and just rebrand it. And that's why it explains that these are the only R7 370s that I've been able to find, and I've done a ton of research on the market that have a dual 6-pin power connector. They're the only ones that I can find that have that. Even the 4GB versions only have one 6-pin power connector. And upon contacting XFX, they confirmed my suspicions. I first realized that they were a 270X when I opened, I think it was GPU Shark on Furmark, well, through the Furmark software, and it said 270X, R9 270X. Also, using Firestrike, they don't come up as an R7 370, they come up as an R9 270X, and not all 370s do that. I also have, by XFX, an R7 370 Black Edition. Now, this is an actual R7 370 with the new Trinidad GPU and one 6-pin power connector. It is a great card for the price. I think you could do a little better off with this one buying like an EVGA 950. Would probably be a better buy than this. But if you're looking in the $170, $180 price range, I definitely recommend the Redline edition. The Redline R7 370 or the R9 270X, what it actually is, falls somewhere in between an EVGA 960 and a 950. It's just a little less powerful than the 960, but considerably more powerful than the 950. So it really depends. It depends on the model of the 960. The one I tested it against was the SSC, the Super Clock, which beat it out by just a little bit, but not a huge margin. So for most standard 960s, they would definitely be an even match for this 270X. Anyways, we're going to get into it. First, I tried it. I ran benchmarks with a single card, and this is a little disclaimer. This is why I didn't post the scores in the last video. The power supply that I currently have in the PC now is a Thermaltake TR2 600 watt, which is a low-end power supply. I bought it because I was never intending to do Crossfire with it. I bought actually the R7 360, and upon fucking with it, I actually killed the card. So I went back to Best Buy just to replace it with another R7 360, and they did not have one in stock for about like 100 miles from where I live in New Jersey. So the guy was nice about it and just gave me the Redline 370, which is the step up, which is about $50–$60 more at no extra cost. And then my sponsor from CJIT, Scott, gave me this card here, which is the XFX R7 370 Black Edition, assuming that it would crossfire with another 370. And we had nothing but problems trying to get the two cards to crossfire, and that's when I contacted XFX and found out. So anyways, like I said, this power supply is not able to overclock the CPU, the RAM, and both graphics cards. So all these tests are on stock speeds, which are a core clock of 1050 megahertz and a memory clock of 1400 megahertz. I did order a new power supply. I ordered the EVGA Supernova B1 1000 watt power supply, which is semi-modular. It's not super high-end, but it will do the job. And once I get that in and hook it up, I will give you the overclocks of the fully clocked system. To start off, I ran Firestrike with a single card, and the Firestrike card for one 370 or two R9 270X, the Redline edition, was 5,113, as you guys can see here. Now, when I put the Crossfire in, I got a score of 7,299. Given this is only on stock speed, so I'm estimating I could probably get an over an 8,000 pretty easily. I know from using the one card, I am able to overclock it, and it goes up to 1400 megahertz, and it overclocks beautifully. Okay, so we're going to get into Furmark. Is something else I use. I love Furmark because it's only a 60-second test. It's really quick, and it gives you a baseline. It's not always the most accurate, and some of these scores can be getting with like a little margin of error. With a single card, not in Crossfire, no overclock, I got for the 720 preset was 4,730 at 78 frames per second. At the 1080 preset, it was 2,852 at 47 frames per second, and at 1440, it kept crashing. I'm not sure why. This time around, I was able to get a score the other day with it. I'm not sure why it would not work in 1440. I'm assuming there's something wrong with the driver. But the score I got the other day was 2,015. It's somewhere around 30 frames per second. Now, on Crossfire, with both the 270Xs or the Redline 370, whatever you guys want to call them, the 720 preset was just under 7,000 at 6,953 at 115 frames per second. The 1080 score was 4,258 at 70 frames per second, and the 1440 score was 2,664 at 44 frames per second. Now, that is a decent increase, and I didn't test it at 4K because these cards, as powerful as they are in Crossfire, they are still limited to the 2 gigabytes of the RAM. Now, you can tell what a card is intended for resolution-wise by the amount of RAM it has. 2 gigabytes is usually for 1080, and that's the sweet spot for a 2 gig card. You can push it to 4K, especially in 1440 in Crossfire, but when it comes to 4K, you need something at least 4 gigs and up. 4 gigs is the sweet spot for 1440, and anything above that does really well in 4K, so you're not going to see the best scaling because it is limited with the 2 gigabytes of RAM, the onboard DDR5 RAM. Anyways, that's pretty much it, and once I get the new power supply in for you guys, I will definitely give you the new scores. This system is not going to stay like it is. I actually am going to be purchasing 2 of the RX 480s to put in Crossfire. Now, there's a lot of people that are going to give me flack. Why don't I just buy 2 1080s or 2 1070s? The reason for that is I just purchased the third one. I have 3 390Xs in my other system, and I also have a Titan X. And now, I was thinking about doing benchmarks and including the benchmarks to score against these cards, but they are in a completely different category. 3 390s beats out the Titan X. It's not better in games, but synthetic benchmarks, but both of those setups absolutely destroyed the 270Xs, so I didn't think it was really a great idea to compare the two. Now, I do, which I will add into the next video when I get the new power supply, I was able to borrow from a friend. I have 2 EVGA Superclock 960s that are going to be tested against the 270Xs. So you guys are going to have to wait for that, and I'm sorry I did not get the power supply yet. That is one thing I did not order through Amazon, and that's why it is not here yet. I love Amazon. Amazon is the greatest to order from. For example, I ordered this new boom arm and pop filter for this Blue Snowball mic. I ordered it, today is Sunday. I ordered it last night, Saturday, well technically Sunday night at 2 a.m. in the morning, and it came on Sunday at, I think it was today, at 4:30 p.m. I believe. So it took way less than 24 hours for this to get here. And I only had to pay an extra $5 for the express shipping, and which was by laser ship. That's why I order everything from Amazon. Anyways, guys, this is BC Tech. This video was brought to you by CJIT, local Central Jersey IT tech friend. If you guys have any electronic needs, you have problems with your computer, security cameras, the whole 9 yards, you can contact Central Jersey IT at 732-707-7723, or you guys can go to centraljerseyit.com, both which will be linked below. Like, subscribe, check out my Twitter, and definitely check out CJIT. And if you guys are in the Central Jersey area and you need something done, definitely let Scott know that Andy sent you, which is me, if you guys haven't figured that out by now, and that's it.